Well, Afghanistan has long been the chief supplier of poppies for the illegal drug trade. And a new wave of terrorism in that country is being blamed on opium sales that reached nearly $100 million last year. The Taliban is using the drug money to buy weapons to fight NATO troops in an attempt to push Afghanistan back under its oppressive rule. But a new effort is underway to combat the growing drug trade by giving the farmers who grow the poppies another option. Joining me now in studio is Kathy Shelton, our producer for OSU's Sun Up television program.
Well, Rob, when you think of agriculture, you usually don't think of it in the context of war. But the U.S. military is using agriculture to help fight terrorism by helping farmers in Afghanistan grow something other than poppies that can be processed into heroin. Now, recently, the Oklahoma National Guard spent a week at Oklahoma State University before heading overseas as citizen soldiers with a rifle in one hand and agriculture help in the other. Afghanistan. Mountainous, rocky, dry, and dusty. Yet 85% of the population makes their living in agriculture. An inroad that the U.S. military is trying to capitalize on.
My role as agriculture advisor is really technical. I'm providing technical assistance and improving crops. And if I can help these people improve their crops by 3% yield increase, then I've done my job.
And they're offering more than just advice. New technology and equipment, like this tractor and thrashing machine, have been provided for local farmers to use. It's already making a big impact.
Before we had to use cows on our hands to perform the process the tractor is doing now. We used to pay 1,000 AFs in order to thresh our wheat, but after the Ministry of Agriculture provided this threshing machine, we just pay the expenses for the fuel. Because of the new technology and fertilizer we have received, we have more than doubled our wheat production.
The Oklahoma National Guard is hoping to continue the mission. They recently spent a week on Oklahoma State's campus, getting a crash course in ag. From learning to use green seeker technology, to studying invasive species of plants, to assisting with animal harvesting, it's all a part of being prepared for their next deployment.
And we're trying to get as much information as we can so that we know what to study or emphasize on also before we go.
And we actually have 4 teams over here who are led by the National Guard, our Army National Guard. They come from farming states. They run agribusiness development teams. They've been able to do things like show the people here how to double the size of their livestock in just a year. They're able to show folks how to, like we do in our Midwestern states, show them how to get more bushels per acre.
Like those currently on the job, many of these Oklahoma soldiers grew up in agriculture or studied it in college.
Yeah, it's about 0.8. I think that the excitement is really starting to sink in with them. I mean, a lot of them, you know, they knew that we were looking for certain areas of expertise or experience, and now that we've got them together and got them in the environment and got them in this at this institution, I think that the excitement is definitely building.
Well, this falls right into the mission of a land-grant university. We've got 64 people from Oklahoma in the Oklahoma National Guard in this group that's going to deploy over to Afghanistan. We have about half of those on campus today. But as citizens of the state and involved in something that is a very important mission for the United States, which is to assist in the agricultural development there, which will lead to peace and stability and ultimate environment where we can look toward a better future in that country that will allow them to step away from some of the poppy production and other activities that are problematic.
And military officials couldn't agree more.
Because remember, when you get out this far along the line, the amount a farmer gets for a poppy is about what he gets for a bushel of wheat. He's just trying to feed his family. It's along the way that all the people make the additional money and skim off the top and create a very dangerous heroin that's abused by other cultures and other places. So for the farmer here, he's got a balance of what he ought to be farming, and we're helping to show him what a better way ahead is.
But everything we do in agriculture has to be sustainable. And what that is that they can carry on after we leave here, because we won't be around all the time. So we're going to try to help these people sustain their livelihoods in agriculture.
So far, the assistance has been warmly received by villagers throughout the region.
All farmers of this village are happy with having this new technology. It will improve our economy, and we won't have to ask other countries to help us with the crops.
The Guard hopes the skills they're learning at OSU will continue to pay off for their fellow farmers in Afghanistan.
More and more Afghan farmers are switching from poppy crops to alternative crops. A September 2008 report from the U.S. Department of State says poppy cultivation is down by 19% from the previous year. It's a stunning change. The State Department says it's vital to military success in the war-torn country.
Now, I'd like to believe that no one wants to be a criminal, but until the time that we find an alternative crop for these farmers, I'd have to believe that this is going to be a hard sell to the Afghan farmers.
Well, it is, because according to the Afghan government, the typical poppy farmer makes around $2,000 per acre. That's something that other crops can't even come close to. But there's hope that the pomegranates could be a viable option.
Now, I've seen pomegranates grow in Israel, and they grow on trees, so how long does that take to establish?
Well, it's a long process. It takes 3 to 5 years. But there's a program in place to help those Afghan farmers who have taken the poppy fields out of production and put the pomegranates in.
Well, certainly an interesting story on a very complicated issue. Thank you, Kathy.